In this module, we will discuss conducting and reporting research responsibly and ethically, with special emphasis on research involving humans and non-human vertebrate animal subjects and demonstrating integrity in scholarly publishing. In this module, you'll learn about the research integrity and the responsible conduct of research, obtaining education and training in the responsible conduct of research, special requirements for research involving humans and non-human vertebrate animals, and standards for the responsible publication of the results from research. Let's get started. There are many aspects to the responsible conduct of research. For the purposes of this discussion, we will adopt a definition provided by the National Institutes of Health in updating its requirement for instruction in the responsible conduct of research. Responsible conduct of research is defined as the practice of scientific investigation with integrity. It involves the awareness and application of established professional norms and ethical principles in the performance of all activities related to scientific research. This definition introduces two new concepts: ethical principles and integrity. Ethics may be defined as an area of study that deals with ideas about what is good and bad behavior, a branch of philosophy dealing with what is morally right or wrong, or as norms for conduct that distinguish between acceptable and unacceptable behavior. We can gain insight into the concept of integrity by reference to Purdue's Statement of Integrity and Code of Conduct, which speaks of trust and trustworthiness, accepting responsibilities, championing freedom of expression and open inquiry, upholding standards of fairness, respecting equality and the rights of others, and placing the highest value on truth and accuracy. Similarly, Purdue's policy on research misconduct describes the proper conduct of research as involving a commitment to truth, objectivity, and honesty, and an expectation of maintaining careful research records and establishing and following well-defined protocols consistent with all state, federal, and university guidelines, and reporting discoveries, observations, and scholarly and artistic activities accurately and fairly. Next, we'll look at the education and training involved in becoming a researcher. The NIH and other federal sponsors of research generally include most or all of the following topics as critical components of education and training in the responsible conduct of research: conflict of interest, personal, professional, and financial; policies regarding human subjects and live vertebrate animals in research and safe laboratory practices; mentor-mentee responsibilities and relationships; collaborative research, including collaborations with industry; peer review; data acquisition and laboratory tools, management, sharing, and ownership; research misconduct and policies for handling misconduct; responsible authorship and publication; and the scientist as a responsible member of society, contemporary ethical issues in biomedical research, and the environment and societal impacts of scientific research. This is a demanding and broad curriculum, but one with which all researchers must become familiar during their careers. Undergraduates engaging in research may begin to become acquainted with this body of standards, norms, and expectations by completing a brief online course for undergraduate researchers in the responsible conduct of research, offered by the Collaborative Institutional Training Initiative, or CITI, program administered by the University of Miami. In fact, undergraduates whose research at Purdue is sponsored by the National Science Foundation or U.S. Department of Agriculture's National Institute of Food and Agriculture are required to complete this online course before beginning their research. Instructions to register with CITI and complete the course in the responsible conduct of research are available on the website of Purdue's Executive Vice President for Research and Partnerships. There is no charge for Purdue students to complete the CITI RCR course, and, following successful completion, you will be able to save or print a certificate of completion. Many other universities also require completion of one or more city online courses and may accept your certificate of completion from completing the Purdue version of the course. To understand better the biology, physiology, health and diseases, and interactions of humans and non-human vertebrate animals, scientists conduct many forms of research involving observations, interventions, and analysis of data and information about living persons and non-human vertebrate animals. Conducting such research involving living persons and non-human vertebrate animals is not a right of scientists, regardless of the importance the researcher may claim for the information and understanding that may result from these investigations. The ability to conduct research involving living persons and or non-human vertebrate animals as subjects is a privilege, and like other privileges, has associated obligations which the researcher must satisfy. All living vertebrate animals, both human and non-human, are sentient creatures. That is, they have the capacity to experience both pleasure and pain. As sentient creatures, all living vertebrate animals have a special moral status which requires that researchers take special precautions to minimize pain, stress, and distress and promote benefit. In addition to their status as sentient creatures, living humans are also autonomous beings capable of making and acting on their own decisions. In respecting their autonomy, all potential human subjects have the right to a full and complete description of the purpose and procedures for proposed research, as well as full information on all known or recognized potential risks associated with participation in the proposed research, so that they may make an informed decision whether to participate. They must also be able to withdraw from participation in research if they wish. Researchers' obligations to living, non-human vertebrate subjects of research are codified in U.S. federal law and regulations, and researchers' obligations to human subjects of research are summarized in several international codes and in U.S. regulations. Before conducting research with living, human, or non-human vertebrate animals, researchers must complete additional education and training also offered online through the CITI program, and the principal investigator must obtain permission from designated review panels to conduct their research, which is described in a detailed written protocol. Changes in the protocol for research must also be approved before being implemented. The leader of a research project, or PI, is responsible for obtaining protocol approval by submitting appropriate applications and forms to conduct research and for ensuring that annual reporting requirements are met for his or her research projects. At Purdue, a PI must be a CITI certified professor. Students cannot serve as PIs on a study. Institutional review boards, or IRBs, review and approve or disapprove of proposed research involving human subjects. Institutional Animal Care and Use Committees, or IACUCs, review and approve or disapprove of proposed research involving living, non-human vertebrate animal subjects. Before engaging in a research project involving living human or non-human vertebrate animals, an undergraduate researcher must obtain a copy of the approved protocol and any approved amendments to the protocol for the study and read it to ensure that they know the scope of the approved research. Let's look at ethics after the research has been done. Within the research community, researchers trust each other to report the procedures and results from their research accurately and completely. It is critical personal responsibility of authors to ensure the integrity of their descriptions of research, whether in forms of proposals, primary journal publications, review articles, proceedings chapters, posters, or presentations. Purdue's policy on research misconduct defines research misconduct as falsification, fabrication, or plagiarism in proposing, performing, or reviewing research, or in reporting research results when committed intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly. Plagiarism is defined by the same policy as the appropriation of another person's ideas, processes, results, or words without giving appropriate credit. Unfortunately, traditional considerations of plagiarism have focused on the reuse of the exact words of another author without giving credit, and have neglected to include appropriation of ideas, processes, or results, which are also forms of plagiarism. All the work that you refer to, ideas that you borrow, phrases from books, or online content that you mention must be attributed to the original authors who created them. The exact words of another author must be enclosed in quotation marks and accompanied by a citation. If the exact words of the initial author are important to repeat, repeat them exactly, don't change a couple of words, and enclose them in quotes and include a citation. When you summarize or paraphrase the words, results, concepts, or conclusions of another author, you express them in your own words, but still include a citation to the source. Even if you change several words, the meaning still belongs to the original author, so don't fall into the trap of simply switching out words and claiming them as your own. There are a number of acceptable formats for citations. Choose one that is specified by the journal or appropriate to the discipline, then follow the chosen format precisely. In general, it is better to overcite than to undercite and risk plagiarism. Self-plagiarism occurs when a person reuses his or her own work without citing the original source. This could be reusing all or parts of a paper for different classes or for different publications. Always cite any ideas that you reuse from your previous works. If you are using entire sentences or paragraphs, cite them as direct quotations. If you want to reuse any data collected during experiments, talk with your professor first. Reusing tables and charts derived from your own data without citation is also considered self-plagiarism. Remember, research results and scholarship is only original once. Reusing it without citation is misrepresenting it as original when it is not. When in doubt, seek reference assistance at your local library or online, since many references clearly detail accepted and unaccepted citation practices. At this point, you should know more about the research integrity and responsible conduct of research, obtaining education and training in the responsible conduct of research, special requirements for research involving humans and non-human vertebrate animals, and standards for the responsible publication of the results from research. If you need more information about research integrity and the responsible conduct of research, various resources are available in the Purdue University libraries, bookstores, and online, as well as from your graduate mentors and professors. We hope you enjoyed Research Integrity and the Responsible Conduct of Research. Thank you for watching.